I'd like to call the July 19th Road Committee meeting to order. Let's start with a Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first thing is, we had town meeting. And so we'll go through and do our elections of officers. So,
I'll make a motion for Leslie Berlin, president, or the chair.
I second that.
all in favor? Any other nominations?
It's yours.
All in favor? All opposed? Nominations for vice chair?
Cindy?
I second that. Any other nominations? All in favor? All opposed? Secretary?
Jay?
Oh, darn.
I'll second that one also. Okay. Any other nominations? All in favor? All opposed? Okay.
Nice try.
Yeah, we know that, Jay. You get roped into it last time, too. All right, the next thing we have on the agenda is Article 43. We do have a new application for Article 43, which I passed out to you. There's a number of issues in my quick perusal of it. I'll have to get a letter together and just let them know what they need to do. There's no letter from DEP, which we all know is required.
Because that was my question is, I mean, I see it like here, like he wants to use gravel, like filling his potholes, but I thought we didn't do maintenance with this.
I know. I mean, they applied right at the end before we changed everything.
Yeah, last year,
So-
right? Because we had to
It was
accept,
2 years ago.
because we had to accept theirs and pay him no matter what, right? Was
Right.
that the whole
Yeah.
thing there?
Right, that was one of the last ones that we did under the old rules. So, I don't know if, they're aware of the new changes that have been instituted. So I didn't find a letter from DEP. The last meeting minutes was from 2019, and in looking through their paperwork, they submitted the information for the IRS. They got an EIN number, but that has nothing to do with making it a statutory or a nonprofit. And so, at this point, you guys weigh in also. I don't see how we can approve this.
Well,
without-
isn't it up to the Board of Selectmen to get back to him? That's the whole reason why they insisted on a estimate prior to beginning of work. So they should be the ones that are getting back to him.
So you think they should be letting them know about what's missing from the application then?
That was the whole reason for having them submit all the paperwork prior to beginning construction.
Yeah. Well, I understand that, but, but then the application comes to us for us to make a recommendation to whether to approve or not. And any deficiencies that we find will be reported to the selectmen at their next meeting. But correct me if I'm wrong, that should we or should we not be helping assist them in in fixing what they're missing, you know, at least letting them know the documentation that they need.
Well, but that's providing we're gonna give them the same information that the selectmen are gonna give them.
Well, I would go through and go through the application, because the application is pretty clear.
On what
You know,
they're
you need-
missing.
You know, you either, if you're nonprofit, let me look. Because I had pulled these up earlier. If you're nonprofit, you need your incorporation papers. And of course I don't have, oh, but I do have those,
I think you still need the bylaws,
You need your bylaws, you need the
And the
minutes of
meeting
your
notes.
last meeting,
meeting notes and notification.
you know, and that's for nonprofit. If you're
Well, it's,
statutory,
it says on here that the Great Pond is listed on Maine DEP, but we have to have a letter from them, you said?
yeah, I mean, we wouldn't be able to say, you know, we would approve it or not, because there's no letter of approval anyway. But, you know, rather than having them spin their wheels, I think we should let them know everything that they need. Yeah. Yeah, so incorporated associations attach articles of incorporation, proof of good standing, which is the form that you send to the state every year. You pay your fee to have them say that you're in good standing. Your bylaws, your minutes of the last meeting. For a statutory association, you need a copy of the notarized call to meeting, bylaws, and the minutes of the last meeting. So I saw meeting minutes from 2019, but no other documentation other than the IRS notification, which just states that they have a tax number.
We don't have a tax number, and we're both,
I think we do.
yeah. But we're so far back, we were
Yeah.
before the state law, so we have many privileges.
Yeah.
Well, then, are you going to have us send you stuff, or how are we gonna do this?
Leslie, I think Jay's right,
What's up?
his interpretation on how this works.
Okay,
Quite a conversation there that Jay had even back on some of those Zoom meetings and was going over this stuff. And providing that they tell you that it's all right for you to work with these people, which really is the right thing to do, if you want to.
yeah.
But the selectmen say that they're on their own, it's not the responsibility of the road committee, then your hands are kind of tied. I'm just trying to, whenever you do something that they don't interpret as the way it's supposed to be done, it always ends up being a negative thing towards the road committee.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
But working with the people, obviously, is morally the right thing to do.
Which is what I see our job is. But I do understand what Jay is saying, you know, as far as we'll call it the chain of command, for the lack of better. So, all right, so what do you guys think we should do with this then? So I go to the next selectmen meeting, I tell them what the application is missing?
Well,
Have they talked about this yet?
no.
All they said was that it had been submitted, and that it was gonna be forwarded to the road committee.
But if we're not doing anything with like maintenance, then why do they even accept it then? Like right now, I mean, like, he's not doing anything to improve the road, I mean.
Yeah, I think that's why they want the list from the DEP, the hotspot list. I think it's gonna be on that. I think,
Yeah,
that's
did
my
they have that in
interpretation.
their last one though? But I feel like on the Wilkins Road, they had some spots on there from DEP.
They did not.
Oh,
They did not, and it was actually the one that the applicant said wouldn't stop erosion from going in the lake.
Yeah, I guess
It
so,
was
we
that
just
one.
tell the selectmen the packet isn't complete, and when they get us the thing from DEP, we'll look at it again. It's-
Yeah.
Where did the board or the board of trustees end up on the question of, are they going to include crowning?
Well, that's the thing, I don't know, it's,
So, I mean, if this
I don't think
could,
they, I don't think they are.
I don't believe they are
at
either.
all. I'm pretty sure that's what their stance is.
oh, I thought, okay, I thought at the end,
So I believe when we were talking about this last time, that was
Yeah.
brought up.
You don't crown the road until you grade it, and they're not
Yeah,
gonna pay
right.
for grading it, so. They
I
were
thought that
adamant.
that's what David was saying, but maybe not.
They, were adamant they weren't gonna pay for that.
Okay,
so I mean, I feel like that, like this right here, I mean, like, it's like anything, I mean, if the road doesn't have money to do it, but I feel like any road association has a contract that grades the road in the springtime. I mean, that should be something in most road, like all the roads we do, we grade the roads in springtime, and that, they know that's coming in the springtime, they pay for it, you know, it's,
Right.
and to me, this isn't what this is for, but, you know, I don't.
Under the rules that we have in place right now,
Yeah,
you're
I feel like
absolutely
we've gone
right.
back and forth with maintenance for like 3 years now, and this is, if we accept this, then we have to accept everybody's now.
Right.
So, and this isn't, and to my eyes, if we're gonna do Article 43, I'd rather see them go, fix something that's washing the lake, or, a culvert, or whatever the case may be, not fill your potholes in, your association have money to fill potholes in.
Right, and under the rules we have, that that's absolutely right. However, isn't part of our job to educate these associations as to what the rules are and the proper paperwork that they need to submit.
So if it's not, so then we're just gonna tell the selectmen, and if they accept it, then who's gonna point the finger at who?
Well, I mean, the way the application is right now, I would not vote to recommend paying it,
Well, I
because
guess we
the
should-
application's not complete.
right, it's got deficiencies.
Right.
Well, I think that's what we should do, we don't have the letter from DEP, right?
There's no letter from DEP,
Yeah, what
and
else?
we don't even know what kind of a road association that it is.
Well, I guess we just write that down, and you don't have a meeting this week, but next week, just tell it to the selectmen.
All right.
and-
So, does everyone agree with that? That I go to the next selectmen meeting and tell
I
them
think
that?
we need to, I hate to revisit the Article 43 again, but I really think we need to visit it and, make it public to people, that we're not paying for your maintenance of your road, this is for, erosion problems, or, best management practice problems, not, whatever, I feel like we've beat this maintenance thing a million times, that's what
Yeah.
we're doing all over again.
Right.
And, I don't know,
I mean, if they had provided a letter from
if DEP
DEP
told them to fill the
saying, yeah,
holes
go
in.
ahead, it'll protect the
Well,
lake.
That's what I
yeah.
mean, like, if there's a letter, fill the holes in so, the water doesn't splash up and, wash the wash the side of the road out, then fine, then if that's what they say to do, fine, we'll pay for it. But not a letter saying they're filling potholes, we shouldn't accept that.
Right. So,
That's how I feel, I don't know how
Alright.
everybody else feels, but.
so, everyone agrees that I go in next Wednesday and tell them that the application is
Incomplete.
missing.
Incomplete.
Okay.
Tell them if they'll do better next time before they send it over.
Okay.
So do we need a motion on that? Or, I don't know.
There's no action.
No. No, we're not.
Well, the action is that we're gonna have
We're going
Get back to
we're
the-
going to let the selectmen know that the application's incomplete.
Right, but what I'm saying is, you guys aren't really making an action on that application, or you're saying what it is, you don't have all the information,
So we can't make a decision.
you can't take any action.
So,
okay.
okay. Next item is RSMS.
So how'd you guys make out with that? I know I couldn't make it.
Yeah, Adam and I went in on Friday. We had our meeting with Jennifer to try to figure out the RSMS program. We were able to get into the program, and what we discovered was, we still don't know how to run the reports, and even if we did figure out how to run the reports, the data appears to not be in there.
At all.
But what'd
It
you say,
shows the roads, that's it.
so what'd you say the other day? Did you say something about Tyler had an idea to do something?
Well, one of the things is my son was talking about it, the biggest thing was like, if we get this up and running, and we get some data into it, the biggest problem we're gonna have is like Will and I, we have to take time out of the day, come into town when town hall's open. If we get this on a server that Will and I have access to, then we can update it on our own time when we're done work or whatever, and we don't have to worry about town scheduling. Is a kind of a thought. I don't know if it's possible. It is possible, but I don't know.
So all the, like, the road data like Cindy did, that's not in there?
Isn't, no. We
Nothing.
couldn't see it.
We couldn't see it. There was miles of road, just shows how long the road was, and that's it.
Yeah.
You click on the road, and that's it.
There's no like,
Nothing.
Now, I do have the hard copies from 2018, when we did the survey.
Just gotta figure out how to upload.
I have the data.
so but in 2018, what was, like, what'd you guys do in 2018?
Measured all the culverts, right?
We did not do the culverts. All
No,
we
we
did
did
was the
culverts
surface
before
of the
that.
road.
Oh, the surface of the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I have the data, so I have all the hard copies. That being said, that data is almost 3 years old.
Yeah, so it almost needs to be done again.
Then that was my question that I wanted to put forth to everyone here. Do we go with the old data,
No.
or do we take the time and do a new survey?
Well, no, I mean, cause you just take, just in the last 3 years, like, take Newbridge Road, Joe did all the culverts on Newbridge Road. I've done
Yeah.
numerous culverts, I mean, we'd just be wasting our time, I think if we're gonna do it, we gotta just do it over again, you know, 'cause
And try and get
Adam-
100%.
You know, Adam's knowing his roads, he's been finding culverts left and right, you know, and I know where about every single one of my culverts are, and, I think we just need to do it again, really. I think we need to get the culverts in there, that's the biggest thing, but you take, well, what else did Joe do? Just Newbridge Road?
Newbridge, you did, East
I
Shore
mean-
Drive.
Go drive.
I don't think he replaced any culverts.
No, I don't think you just paved it.
But, yeah, but you can put in like data for like paving and all that stuff.
Paving, yeah, and you can also put, like, it says plowing, so you can do District 1, District 2, so they'll know who maintains it and who, you know, vice versa.
I mean, would it be helpful enough for just us to, like, if we write everything down, can we just come in and put it in the computer, or do we have to like go ride every single road? and
You have
take
to do every single road.
and
So-
take measurements and all that?
No, the measurements are already done. All we would need to do is,
What about if like you upsize the colors, so like that data you have on that sheet, like isn't gonna match the data that we're gonna have now, cause I've changed different culvert sizes, cause just like increased water and all this stuff. Like on Acton Ridge Road, I increased the size of 2 culverts, just. 'cause
I'll show you an example
job, by the way.
of one of the
Thank you.
surveys.
So would it make sense, though, to
Upload
load
that.
everything
And then
And
add to
then-
it.
then
adjust
overwrite
it?
it? Yeah, then
Yeah.
overwrite what you have.
Yeah, that's probably the way you wanna do it.
Because how long would it take you to do a survey?
It took us 2 days to do it.
That's
When
it?
we did it in 2018.
That's a different type of survey
Yeah.
than
Oh, that's
what was done
accurate.
originally,
Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
the culverts are gonna
I
take
can only
time.
speak to what.
Yeah, and we did all the private roads also.
Hmm.
And so that was all lost. It took us, we had
Roughness.
hundreds of hours
I
in.
bet.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
and
do we
all that
know if it's
water
lost?
information, I mean, it's a sin it got lost, but apparently.
Do we know that it's
somewhere in
definitely
this
lost?
town hall, there are a
Well,
couple of,
From the 2018
hard
to
drives or
2010.
something that have the information.
2018.
Yeah.
2018, well,
It's not in there.
it's not in it's not in there.
Right, but
Be nice to have it.
Yeah.
But that is right there.
They were measured,
Yeah, so
we noted that.
you don't think that nobody
And what the material
has
was
it
made out
on
of.
a computer? I mean,
Oh, I'm digging them out, there's
Who-
nothing
who
left, the
first
ones
had
I'm
it?
finding. Metal.
did we do it?
Have you seen the
Or-
ones on Riverview Drive
Chuck
yet?
did it.
So does Chuck
They all
still have
sank?
it?
I don't know.
They're all
I think he
done?
gave it back to the
Yeah.
town.
Okay. I loved the figure
Didn't take a
eights where
copy.
they put the one on top of the other.
Well, I don't think so. Does that make any
Don't
sense
have
to you,
to take
Will?
out that middle.
Yeah, I mean, it's all like,
Down. you put
I mean, what about if,
the other one down top.
because I mean, would you have to just fill in like, because this is, well, I'm sure, this is like road, well, this is for like the pavement, this one here?
Yes.
So I mean, like, I guess like as me and Adam being the road commissioners, like if we took this packet out now and just went and wrote all
If
the,
you, yeah,
and just like, then we have it, then we just go submit it that
submit it
way.
up in.
Like just take like a Friday afternoon, come into town all for a few hours and just submit it ourselves. Could we do
And
that?
do the data entry.
Because I almost don't have to go ride on them, I can tell you how they are, you know? I feel like that'd save everybody a lot of time, you know, cause I feel like that's kinda part of our job, you know, if we were gonna do this, we might as well just do it as the road commissioners, you know? Then we could just like report back to you guys when we have a meeting, I feel like that'd save everybody out going out driving and then you can just look at the report when it's done. I mean, that's up to you guys, which, that's how I see it, I think that'd be a lot faster.
So do you
I'd
think,
I'd like to see accurate information put in. How that happens doesn't matter to me.
Alright,
do you think there's any way that you could do it in the field, so you don't have to come here?
That's what I think the ultimate way to do it is, so you don't have to come here.
Well, that's it, like I was saying with the server, if we can
Yeah,
tag off the
something.
server
Yeah.
Gotta
online,
be a way.
and that way, say we have an iPad with us, we can log into the server, we can upload everything, so town hall has it, Will
Some
and I have
aspects, you could do
access
some
to
of
it.
this just when you just
You both have
randomly.
That would
drive
help
down
your-
the road.
What's that?
Do you have a tablet?
Somewhere, I haven't used it in a long time, but I'll get one if I had
I
to.
might-
Well, no, that's something that they should
It's something the
apply.
town should
The town should
provide.
buy the tablet.
I mean,
Yeah,
Dave
I mean, they're not
Langley,
that
a number of
expensive.
times wanted laptops out in the trucks.
because
Makes
like the other
sense.
day when we did all that road work, you could've put down all the gravel you took out, you could put down, cause you know,
Right.
we got one culvert, it was all big rock, it's all the rock off, all of it, you could've put that all in there, took
Yeah.
pictures, bazillion things.
Yep.
And that's like when Adam's getting ready to do his stuff tomorrow, I mean, you ain't gonna get no closer than the field than, right, I mean, I got every picture of the road we did, so, you know,
It wouldn't take long at the end of the day to put it in.
oh no, if you could just submit all that stuff in there and,
seems like it's a waste of time for you to write it down and then have to
Well, yeah, I
enter it
guess
into a computer, that's,
and I feel like if that, you know, if we're gonna, you know, you got like the road commissioner ordinance, all that stuff, if they're gonna be serious about this, I mean, both said, we'll use it, but we just have to know how to use it, and I think if you go out, well, how much is like an iPad, like $800 or something, maybe?
How much?
800?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it
about
depends.
that.
I mean, you could buy
Sure they could get a good
an
price on it.
Android for cheaper. 'Cause
Right.
Apple always
Whatever.
has a premium.
Whatever it is, it
Yeah.
needs to be done, and it's,
Well,
I think that's the only rational way to do
Best
it.
bang for our buck, I mean, if you're going out there, if we're gonna get it up and going seriously, I think, but I mean, you gotta run it through the
I
selectmen.
mean,
if
it's,
they
I
don't
mean,
like it. It is what it
actually,
is.
you guys have budgets. You could take $300-400 and buy one.
We probably have
If-
something, line item in our budget, maybe, I don't know.
If you can get that software put on the tablet.
Yeah, but you gotta be able,
That's-
yeah, there's like
yeah,
well, so how do they do it on the computer, is like an app or something?
Just a file on the
Program.
computer,
It's
a
a
program.
You could
So
probably
you could like just
upload
download the program onto the iPad.
Right,
it. I bet you could.
Then, I mean, it's like any other thing, the dog officer's got his own cell phone, that you could just,
Yep.
they could track that thing, for God's sakes, you know?
That just makes sense.
I think it'd be,
It's the only thing.
yeah, it'd save you a lot of time and,
I mean, like on, like, usually Sundays, I do all my paperwork for the town, all my time, I could just take another like 10 minutes and put all this, done over with.
right.
Then if it's not in there, you know, then if the selectmen really wanna get too carried away with it, they could, you know, hey, you got this, you know, until next week to put your information in, cause you know, we know you did work, and then you don't have to worry about it, and you get after, but
You know, be doing work instead of in here, putting it into the computer.
yeah, I mean,
All right,
Chuck
now,
has all the information on it. He could be helpful if he'd, you know, he set everything up in here the last time and had it all set, and that was the third time that RSMS has been set up in here, but Chuck's still in town and still would be able to, I mean, that's what he does, so
yeah.
it'd be worth a try.
So is that something that you're gonna talk to him about?
I mean, we can, I mean, next
Or
Wednesday,
did you want us to talk about it?
well, next Wednesday, I mean, if we'll just bring it up, and me and Adam, if we have to get up, or I'll get up and talk about it, I mean, I'm not a,
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer also contacted the person who actually wrote the program, who no longer has a contract with the state.
that's right.
He's willing to come in for, I think it was $85 an hour to train us.
I mean, at the end of the
So-
day, it's $85 an hour, I mean, just split in half and take half out of Adam's budget and mine.
Oh, it's no money.
I mean, it's pennies.
Yeah, that, I mean, that's cheap, that is cheap money. So Jennifer was gonna talk to the selectmen about that on Wednesday. So the question that we would wanna get him in, ask about tablets, getting that program downloaded on your tablets.
I don't know why they'd even, unless they want us to literally come in the town hall, but.
That don't make sense.
But that doesn't, but
I
like,
know, but you've gotta it's gotta merge somewhere so they can print reports.
Right, so some way,
Because
like a
the
server or
reports
something.
will spit out your prioritization, you know, taking into account bus routes and traffic counts and condition of the roads. And it depoliticizes, the road work. So that's the whole purpose of it. You know, and gives you a schedule, which brings us to, you know, the 5 and 10 year plan. It'll help make it easier for 5 and 10 year plans to be developed.
The bottom line is on this thing, it's not up to either road commissioner. It's up to the board of selectmen to get this program up and running. And so it's been 10 years. It's a long time to get the program up and running.
So,
As
but,
a road committee, I wouldn't do anything, or as a road commissioner, until they had that program up and running, so you could install information on it. Because this, last time you guys did this road inventory thing, like you said, it took a couple of days. 10 years ago, it was about a month of work. And that was quite a few people doing it.
That was 4 of us that did it. You have to have 4 and you have to have the same 4. And it was very thorough, and I'm so sorry it was lost. It would be invaluable.
You guys are just spinning your wheels until the selectmen are willing to sit down and get this up and running. Like they're supposed to. Same responsibility.
but we do know that there's resistance in using this program for
I
whatever
appreciate
reason.
that, but there's a law that says we have to.
So if I could just go back a little bit, so you're gonna continue to try to find if anybody has that information somewhere in the building, or is it definitely not there and it's not gonna be there?
Oh, it could be there because the information is sitting right there. So if it's not there, we need to find out how to do the data entry.
So we're going to get back to the Board of Selectmen and tell them we need that information uploaded,
Yes.
and with the plans of doing a future survey.
Right. So,
so we don't, so you guys didn't get, we don't know how to upload them?
no.
We tried different things, and it's a quirky thing to work.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We were there about an hour and a half working with it. And, you know, and then we got to the point where we're looking at reports and then realized that there's no data.
You know, only let you input certain things you couldn't input. You know, you click on to edit it, and you can edit the speed of the road, the plow route, there was something else, and pretty much that's it.
I mean, there's a lot of other towns in the state of Maine who use this program.
Right, I understand.
So there has to be people that know what they're doing, besides the guy that did the program. If you're looking.
Well, he came down, that's Don Ramlow, and he was the one that came down the second time. This has been done 3 times by the road committee. He came down the second time, taught the class, set everything up. So he's familiar with it. And then when that got lost, I called him and he came down a third time and paid for him to go over and take it out. There was a backup in a previous road commissioner's computer, and that somehow disappeared. So, we seem to make them and they disappear. My thought is it should be downstairs with mapping anyway, because the other thing we discovered is that where we get our Europe money from the state hadn't been updated since 2007, when I did it with Joe. And we went out, and that's where we get our money. So, and that is again tied in with mapping. You have to go over everything, and if we maintain it, we get paid for it. So I think we should get every dime we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So, where do we sit with this now?
That we're going to find out if the information exists and try to get some help in educating everyone about how it works and what it's supposed to do, and see if they can get to a point where they can enter the information in the field. Was there anything else?
I don't think so.
I think that was, did Jay miss anything? I don't think he did.
No. I mean, I guess we'll just mention that and see where the conversation goes.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't give them with a bunch, I mean, I'd start with that, you know.
So you're gonna be there next Wednesday?
Oh, I'll be there.
Are you gonna be there next Wednesday?
I am.
Okay. All right, so we'll have the three of
I
us
mean, most
too.
they're gonna do is say no, right?
That's tomorrow
It's the
night.
worst they're
No,
gonna
next
say.
week.
Next
They're-
week.
They're only meeting every other week.
Can't imagine why they
Good.
would, but.
So, all right, so the three of us will be there next week to discuss this with them, and hopefully the selectmen will, say, all right, let's get Don down here and go over this.
I'll take it out of my budget tomorrow, I mean, like I said, it's pennies, you know, if we can do it and get it up and going, I don't know why we wouldn't, so.
And do away with this issue.
Yeah, you're telling
Yeah,
me.
this is another one that we need to put it to bed.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
I guess if the selectmen don't wanna move on it, then we just, I don't know what we do then, but don't buy it again.
well, I mean, the last meeting that, remember the last meeting when I talked about it and Jennifer had said that she needed direction from the board? I asked them if Jennifer had all the direction that she needed, and they both, it was Ed and David, both said that she does. So, now it's just getting over some of these speed bumps.
Yeah.
But I think the IRS-MS also ties in with with you guys' 5 and 10-year plan. Do you have one yet, or are you working on it, or?
I gave mine to the capital improvement committee has mine, and I put
They
mine
have
in my
mine
budget.
too.
Okay,
I can tell you now, mine's gonna change, I mean, the amount of truck traffic I have on the H road, that thing's just
yeah,
getting the life beat right out of it, and I got word today, I guess another one's opening up.
Yeah, another one. I heard about that today
So,
too.
I mean, my change, you know, my plan's gonna probably end up changing, you know, before I get done, and, I mean, my side of town, I got 8 pits on my side of town, so, I mean, it's hard, it's,
That's why they call it a plan.
I know.
Right, and it
yeah,
changes.
plans can change,
Yep.
depending on what's needed.
I
The
mean,
town can build those pits for the dirt going out of them too. And they can do it with transponders, just like when you drive through.
well, I mean, I feel like it's something that needs to be, when a planning board meeting comes up about this stuff, you know, I think it's time to really start talking about it, because, I mean, the roads are taking a beat, and, I mean, bad, like, just look at West Shore Drive, you know, whatever, you got all right to do what you want, but, you know, just go on West Shore Drive, you know, and look at that, that's a perfect example, and I'm not crapping on anybody, but that's what happens, you know, and I can't keep up with it, we don't have money enough to keep up with it, so,
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, every year I usually change my plan, and I'm sure it's gonna change again, so.
Yeah,
I have my main focus is I gotta do some stuff on the H road, that's, next year I have to, but yeah, I have my plan, and like I said, I'm sure it's gonna change again, so.
I mean, yeah, I mean, same with me. I mean, it's county road, truck traffic, Sanborn gets hammered. So, it's gonna just keep working away at this stuff. I mean, I got unlimited projects on my side.
You need a money ferry?
I need one.
Okay. Anyone else have anything on RSMS and 5 and 10-year plans? Because they were
Oh,
looking
yeah,
at this
on,
together.
I know last Friday, if I was gonna be here, we are gonna talk about, have you, like, found anything about, like, West Shore Drive with the easement and all, or?
That, the assessor is going to be in on Tuesday.
Oh,
I was gonna talk about that, about the grant, with the grant applications.
All right.
So, he's gonna be in tomorrow. Jennifer did not know what time he was going to show up. So I told her that if he needs to speak to me, for me to make any clarifications as to what information we're actually looking for, that I would be available all day.
What do you think, like the width of the road easement?
We need to know.
That should be in Alfred.
It should be what?
In Alfred? All your easements, like I
It's
know
not.
Flat Ground Roads
Not.
is registered in Alfred.
It's in the town report,
Do you know what year?
not off the top of my head.
Why not?
Stumped him.
You gotta narrow it down, Dennis, because how do I look for it if I don't know where to start?
Look the same way that I found out that the planning board members are supposed to be appointed for 5 years.
Let's go year to year.
How far back do the, town reports go online?
Online,
Yeah.
I don't know if you,
Or where,
I was looking,
You have to go in the town hall
I gotta come here and sit down and
and
look?
stop flopping through pages.
Alright.
Unless you
The
know somebody's got a
library's
lot
got
of them.
The library has them? Alright.
And Claire Bragg.
I have read when they accepted West Shore Drive. And then it was in the 70s, I think, when the town did from the last mile.
So that's probably where you could probably, it'd be in that probably then.
What's that?
They'd probably be in that, then they probably carried that same easement down the road.
Every road, regardless, if you don't have, if the easement isn't written, there's an assumed easement with the state of Maine.
That's not,
It's 34 feet.
Dennis, that's not the one we're looking for. We're looking for, there's property owners on each side of that culvert.
The town owns the property on each side of the road.
No, they do not.
Yes, they do. They own the road.
How big can we make that culvert without,
You could go probably as big as
building
you
on
want.
someone else's land?
You can
If
go-
it's within the-
You have a minimum of 34-foot easement.
If it's within that 34 feet from
You
the,
can do whatever you.
you do whatever you want.
Not,
No different than when Will upsized the culverts up on the H road.
will help me with this. I
Because
mean,
people's
I don't
property,
think they're
it's the
understanding
same
what
thing.
easement we're looking for.
Because people's property goes to the edge of the road. So when Will upsized that culvert, it's the same idea as upsizing that culvert. You have people that own up to that, but the easements allow you to do whatever you want to do within that benefits the condition of the road. That's my opinion, and I think that's probably solid.
Dennis, I'm not looking for the easement from this way, where the road goes here. I'm not looking for this easement. I'm looking for how much room that culvert has crosswise on that road.
So that's a 20-foot culvert. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
It's
bigger
20,
than that, but
yeah.
Well, whatever it is. So you're talking an easement underneath the road.
Yeah.
The town owns that.
yeah, the town owns the road.
I know the town owns the road.
But how far beyond the
Everything
size
abutting
can you
the
go?
You'd have to,
culvert.
it'd be in that
I'm not
width easement of
explaining,
the
I'm not
road.
explaining this right. Will, help me with this.
I think she's talking about like you have the culverts, the culvert, and then, but I think the way everybody made it sound that night was that they owned right up.
Up,
Yeah, but
right
that's
up to the
not- that-
culvert,
But
yeah.
that's not the case.
Well, I know, but we need to know that dimension.
Well, what's the assessor gonna do about it? They don't know anything.
No, because I can't find it in the,
Yeah,
in the records down in Alfred.
and we looked here and there's nothing, There's
Well, how'd the
nothing,
state put that culvert in? There's gotta be
I don't
something
know.
with that.
And I called Inland Fisheries, who did a survey. It's not on their survey, for the dimensions
Cause
of
it used
that
to be a
culvert.
bridge there, and then they put the culvert there.
So,
Which I
what
think
I
is stupid,
what I
but-
wanted to know was how much room we had to work with, you know, how wide can we make that culvert without affecting someone else's property?
You talking width, like across the road width, or you're talking like width, like across
she's
it?
talking like.
Right to left.
Right.
Culvert goes this way,
Like
right
if
to
we were gonna put
left.
a box cover, how wide can I make the box?
As big as you had to make it.
Whatever you gotta do, guys.
Whatever you gotta do, as long as you,
Because we'd own the middle, like the whole middle.
That's right.
yeah, and you can go off from that easement
So in
whatever
theory,
you want.
last year, that, everything that happened last,
That shenanigan last year, over that whole deal.
That's
that's
correct.
Exactly what it was shenanigan. Okay, it was a slap in the face to the road committee for all the work that you guys did.
I mean, it's no different than me telling the town, you can't ditch in front of my house. You can't do that. The town's gonna, you can't tell the town, like, you cannot ditch in front of my property. You
so if
can't
I
do
went
that.
out there with a 100-foot
They can just
tape
go and
tomorrow
do
and
it.
measured off,
Same idea.
and measured off, well, we're, and measured off 34 feet, then we own that.
That's within the easement.
You can do anything you want.
After that, you run into issues, if it's 34 feet, which he's probably right on that, but if that's the case, if that is,
Any road you cannot find an easement on, I'm telling you, the state law is, you have an assumed easement.
to allow you to
I'll
maintain
give you a
it.
perfect example. French Street.
Yep,
There's no easement on French Street.
house to house.
Never has been.
Understandable why.
But you do have a 34-foot easement. Good luck doing 34 feet. but-
No. you-
I can do some ditching through someone's house.
but
Right, in the living room.
Do my new sunroom.
The towns are protected. These people that. when
That one
guys
you might be able to get money
went
for all next to the
phone
river.
calls and all that stuff, they've been doing the same thing for 40 years. Every time anybody wants to do anything down there. And I
Is
just
that-
felt bad for all the work you guys did.
Because I don't want, because all the people I've talked to down there, when, I mean, people got, when we're out there patching, people come up to me, half the people that were in Acton were all for that culvert. And they say, well, the more and more you talk to, it's people in Shapley.
And the state's gonna tell you that's gotta be a bigger culvert, right? They're not gonna, cause unless you put
has
a
to
regular
be-
culvert to go
Has
through
to
the
be totally
DEP.
It has to be
it has to be
1.4 bank width.
oversized.
It has to, yeah, has to be 1.4 bank width in
Yeah.
order for us to,
The state dictates that size, so I mean, you can't really,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. That's my opinion on it.
Or then like you call DEP, like I've talked to them, they said, well, if you can get the same as that culvert you have now, you can put that culvert in there, but I don't think, I don't think they fully understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking to them.
they don't, because when I talked to the Army Corps of Engineers, they told me that you would not get a permit from them, because you need a permit from Army Corps for that, to put that in, and they would not grant you that.
And they are the ones that make all the decisions in reality.
Because when I talked to the lady from DEP, I told her, I said, this is what I have. I said, it's just an old, galvanized culvert. So if I can find a plastic culvert this size, I put it back in there. She's like, yeah. But then I tried to say, I said, well, I have this, A, B, C, and D, and then I think I lost her after that. Like, I think she think we were just gonna put in large amounts of water from here to here, and I don't think. she
Right.
fully understood what I was trying to get
The gentleman at Army Corps of Engineers I spoke with was familiar with the culvert, he knew the culvert. So the minute I said West Shore Drive, he knew exactly which one.
at. Was there any way I could like talk to him?
Absolutely, I'll give you his phone number.
Cause we have like the drawing and everything, and then like this spring when I was in there with York County Soil and Water, they had an engineer with them, and he told me to get another print, and, if people are so, cause what it boils down to is people are worried about the boats, is what it boils down to. They can get their boat through, but talk to this neighbor, well, he don't want no more boats in the lake, so. At the end of the day, something's gonna have to give here, either it's gonna have to be really tall and narrow, or really long and short.
It can't be tall and narrow, because it's gotta be 1.4 bank width. That is what they are advocating today.
And that's what we had.
And that is
Get on the
what
plan.
the sketch plan that you had. Now, the grant program is opening back up August 30th. We have until November 19th to submit. $4.5 million is available, 125,000 per grant, 2 grants maximum per municipality. So we can apply for 2, which is, if you have Steve come down, we should coordinate it to have him go over and look at the one on Newbridge, going from
You just talk about
Wilson to
Steve
Horn.
from,
Steve Bradstreet,
from Army Corps of Engineers?
yeah, the engineer.
All right, because I have to, because I want to meet with him, I just want to, like, I want to be able to show him the print and have him, like, the blueprint that the engineering company drew for us, and tell me, hey, either, you know,
Either
either
it's
you
good or
can
it's
go,
bad.
you know, you can either go bigger this way, bigger that way, or whatever, that's what I'd like to know before we get very, invest in this more than fill the whole grant out and be back to square one.
Well, I mean, it's, a lot of the legwork is already done because I did it last year. So a lot of that legwork is done. One thing that a lot of people over on Square Pond don't realize is you could make that culvert 20 foot wide, but the size of boat that can go through there is gonna be dependent on how much water's in the bottom.
Well, I try to
It
tell people,
it doesn't matter.
well, the
You
one
don't get
is,
deeper, you're not getting any bigger boats out there.
No, no. And plus, you know, how many trucks and trailers can you actually park in that parking lot?
I haven't been there in a while.
Can you go over there, do a ballpark figure of how many trucks and trailers you think you could fit there
Probably,
and leave to go out for the day?
probably not, maybe 20 probably, if that.
Yeah, because that parking lot's really not
not
that
that
big. And you can't park on the side of the road because it's not wide enough. So maybe someday when you have nothing to do, I mean, I know that you have nothing to do every day.
That's right.
If you could just go over there and maybe, you know, try to ballpark it. And then that way, that's information that we'd have
To combat some of that.
to combat some of that. Plus, I think somewhere in the paperwork I had, I think I have an average depth. So, but I've gotta like really look down and go through all my
Right now, it's the
paperwork.
best time to replace it, there's hardly any water in the culvert, it'd be the best time to do it. But now it's rain, so.
So no, but I mean, they've measured it over the years and there's an average depth, in some of the paperwork that I have found.
Not a whole lot.
No, it's not.
Did you say 125,000?
125, yeah.
Okay.
So,
I don't think you ought to work on that at all. Until the selectmen guarantee that they'll let you put it forward, because once again, it's a lot of work. You know, the last minute, they'll have to sign and let you send it in. I don't think it's fair to you guys.
that may be true, but I'm also thinking about the taxpayer too, where if we can find money to fix these, it's all the less money that,
No, I agree with what you're saying, Leslie, but if the selectmen aren't gonna sign it, so it can get sent in, then you're doing your work for nothing,
yeah.
is what is my point, just like you did last year.
Well, I tell people that when people ask me what, what are you gonna do about it, I said, we had a plan all together and the selectmen didn't sign it, so it's their problem if it caves in.
Yeah.
It's their responsibility, they know there's something wrong with the culvert, and, we've done grants, we've talked about it and all this stuff, and, if it caves in tomorrow, that's their responsibility, not mine.
You did your
voiced
part.
our concerns about it, and it's how
Yeah.
it's how the cookie's gonna crumble if I,
And I agree with you, money, obviously, but, it just seems to me the road committee done an awful lot of work in the last few years.
Oh, you can just ask the selectmen if they'll sign it.
Doesn't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
That's probably the easiest way to do it. is
I
ask them if they'll sign it.
certainly, no, definitely, on Wednesday, I will bring that up, and.
I mean, if they'll sign it, might as well keep moving forward, because it is a
because we're
great
not
idea.
We're not obligated to take the money, so it was
that's what I mean,
foolishness
Well, I mean, like,
Cannot
that's the thing,
apply.
like last year, like if we, cause they would've helped us, you know, even if we got the money, you know, at least we know everything was filled out right, or even if we went in and we didn't get it, and like you say, well, you guys missed this or that.
You know, it's, we learn for the next time around.
Cause didn't we, cause what was the reason why we didn't get it the first year? Or did we not even put a?
We didn't put it in for that one, we put it in for H Road.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you tried that. No,
And that was my first attempt at writing a grant, so,
did pretty
And that
good
was
the
not
first
pretty.
time.
So you'll ask on Wednesday?
on Wednesday, yeah, about the,
Because will that leave you enough time?
It should, right, because it's the,
oh, yeah.
end of August is when it's,
It doesn't open until
November.
August. We won't get the application until August.
Oh, it's August 30th is the opening, not
Is-
the end? Oh,
Right,
the end of November, right?
and it's
Oh, okay.
November 19th, I believe.
Got it, thank you.
My birthday month, maybe we'll get lucky.
So, I
Might
mean,
get
it's-
lucky.
like I said, I mean, the
get too
application
excited.
from one year to the next pretty much followed the same format. So, a lot of the information,
So is this the only bridge we're gonna put in for that grant for, and?
I don't know what other ones could you?
unless, if Adam wants to do for Newbridge, I mean, that's his call,
Are you gonna
as
do
to whether
something
he
with
wants
Robert?
wants us to do it.
I wanna see how this bridge goes first.
How is it going?
Good, he's got the footings in, the bridge will be set on Friday, next Friday, this Friday.
This Friday?
This
That's
Friday.
cool.
Might be able to get it for the road bridge,
Yeah,
which is a lot bigger problem than Newbridge.
Much bigger problem.
No, that's
Much bigger
true.
problem
That's true,
legally.
but there's no money available for road. So,
Oh, yes, there is.
where?
We have another $100,000 on the account.
No, I'm talking about, money from the state.
From the state.
Oh, I don't know,
There's no grants out there for
a bridge.
bridges.
Just culverts.
Well, that's what you're gonna put in there, and it's water, so,
No, she's talking about road bridge.
yeah, so that's what you're gonna put in there.
But it's too big, it's considered a bridge. It's not,
That's too big.
it's too big.
Well,
They
everything-
classify it by size.
Then you'd have to make it huge, right? That's what the plans that the engineer gave us was
Yeah.
installing that type of a, then it had to be 60 feet or
Yeah, but.
40 feet with
The guy that's doing the canal came down and looked at that and told him, something, I don't know what he told him.
I think it was 250, 260 to do that bridge,
Yeah. So
something like that.
Yeah, but it wouldn't fall under the same, the DEP wouldn't like it because it doesn't have that extra stream width. I
You
think
gotta
that's,
find out what they're doing with the dam before you do anything else. The dam's older than the bridge, and it has considerable damage. It's owned by the state of New Hampshire. We've got no control over it.
Right.
So that would be the first thing, because that would change everything on that corner. It would change everything on the Hopper Road.
change everything, so they go through the bridge too.
Oh, yeah. That bridge needs to be dumbed down.
I was underneath that about a month ago.
It's tough, so was I. She's rough.
it is rough
Yeah.
looking.
You want to say the
And the
next one?
drainage.
Pretty crazy how they built it, too.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah, isn't that weird?
Never seen anything like it.
Oh, I have one here. So, all right, so where are we leaving this then at this point? I'm gonna talk to the selectmen and that's it?
Yeah.
At this
Yeah.
point?
Yes, and
See what
you'll
their
ask
thoughts are.
and see if they'll give you the,
Be okay to go with it.
yeah.
Okay.
And if they do, we'll run with it.
If not?
Trying to be negative here. I'm just being a little defensive because I know all the work this committee has done in the last years. And I think it's a shame for people to spend all this time trying to do stuff and then they're just not doing it. It's the same thing every year. And that's why I would want to guarantee from the selectmen that they're willing to move your work forward, whether it's to the state or to the people or whatever it is. You know, I just feel bad for everybody that's been doing all this work. It doesn't make any sense.
I feel more bad for the people that have to pay for it.
I know the people elected you to do this stuff,
Right.
but you can
Okay.
a lot of work. on that.
The 9th?
All right, well, we will, I will definitely address that with them. Does anyone else have anything?
The classes, education, or?
Oh, I missed.
Skip the line.
Yeah, I skipped right over that. There is an erosion control class, September 9th here, for anyone who needs to be certified in erosion control. You guys are required to be certified working in shoreline zone, so it might be a good thing.
And where do we sign up?
If you go online to DEP,
Anybody got a pen I can borrow?
Has MA Bean gotten signed up? Because this canal has to be treated the same way.
I would assume so.
If he hasn't got, he can't touch anything
September
if he
9th.
hasn't got, within 75 feet of that canal, if he hasn't got certification.
I'm pretty sure he's certified and everything, he said he
And it's
was.
here at
When I talked to him before, he said he was.
the town hall?
Before we started,
We can look him up.
yeah,
You know the time?
Do you finish that next week? Or-
yeah.
it gives a link to a,
Yep.
That is nice getting a project of that size done that
AWISE is
fast.
running it.
It would have been set this
Try to
week,
go to
but earlier this week, but there was
John
just a little hiccup
Baniloff,
at
do
that
you,
concrete
do you have his
plant.
number?
Yeah.
With an
No.
overhead, one of the overhead,
Great.
picking them
If you-
up.
if you go to
shorted out, took 2
maine.gov
days down. But
/DEP/training,
So main.gov/,
yeah, I saw that last time, I was looking it up.
yeah,
DEP/training, and then go to their courses for new certification in erosion control. You have the non-point source training center, and they'll give the schedule and courses.
courses for erosion, I would say.
8 to 4, so it's an all-day thing.
I think it'd be better to just send them that link.
I didn't think I was online, to be honest.
Yeah, so the link's right there.
This tablet. And my internet goes in and out here too.
Yeah, well, you can probably. No,
I'm gonna have to do it at home.
yeah. She'll send it to you at home.
All right,
So, but yeah, AWA is holding it. You guys should think about attending. It's 8 to 4.
oh, I have it right here.
I just sent it to you, I was just gonna say, if you
Oh,
didn't,
did you get it?
I just sent it to him,
Okay.
but I think Will got it, I got the registration right here.
So, and then there's, if you, on that same page, there's other classes. Most of it's online now, where if you need to, I think your certification is like 2027, because I looked today to see where mine is.
Yeah,
Because you gotta do continuing education in order to keep your certification. And they're doing a lot of stuff online still. So, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that there was a class right here in Acton.
I'll fill it out when I get home.
if Pete starts classes again, it'd be nice if we could request torts.
All right, torts. All right.
Torts, because then we'd get the MMA lawyer down here. That's who teaches the class with him, and we'd be able to ask them directly legal questions.
I'm not sure if, Local Roads is doing online, or in-person stuff yet.
No, they're not.
Carrie said that she thought they were gonna start in the fall.
All right, well, I'll
That was,
I'll shoot,
I talked to her months ago, so
Yeah, no,
I'll
I,
shoot Tammy an email and ask her. Tammy's his Pete's secretary.
Tammy has replaced Carrie.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, I don't
That's
know.
right, I forgot. Because the last email I got was from Tammy.
Okay, yeah, because it was Carrie Castingate that I spoke to, and that was months ago about
Okay.
something else, so.
So I
okay.
must have been looking at an old email.
He's gone through quite a few secretaries.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, so I'll send it to Pete then directly.
yeah,
I
torts would
think
be
the, I think the
perfect.
last class I had with like local roads, they said hopefully fall time, they're
Aye.
gonna start going like back in in-person training.
All right, so I'll get that information. All right, and, let's set our next meeting, unless anyone has anything else.
Well, I mean, it'd have to be after the selectmen's meeting, see what they're gonna say about Article
Yeah.
43.
Yeah, well, that
Yeah.
is, that meeting is, when? The 28th. So what day were you thinking, Jay?
If you want to keep it on Mondays, the 9th,
I won't be
There's
here
4
on the
weeks.
9th.
okay? The 16th that's when you run into the problem with the other committee. Does another day work? You probably want to do it before the Monday or Tuesday before the
Before the selectmen?
selectmen meeting.
Yeah. I can't do Tuesday, but I could do a Wednesday or a Thursday,
We're talking about August, September.
August.
August.
You said you
You
can't.
can do the 23rd.
Does it have to be a Monday?
No, not for me, but
Does
Doesn't
it?
have to be for me.
I'm fine with whatever day.
you just don't want to do it on
We
Wednesday.
can't do it on a Wednesday.
Can't do it on a Thursday, the 26th, that's a fact, can't do that.
Can't do that.
Planning board is what, first and third, right?
Oh, yeah, so you'd have to do it in the middle of the month. Or you cannot do that.
So are you gonna be
Why can't we
back the
just do
12th?
Thursday the 12th?
Oh, no, I gotta take my dogs to the vet, and then I gotta go to Manchester on
Okay,
the 9th, so I'm gonna have.
all right, so you're not like going on vacation for a
No, I'm
week?
not going on vacation, I just got something to do that day.
What about, Thursday, the 12th?
That works for me.
Is that good for everyone?
That works for me.
As far as I know, you.
What time is good for everyone?
You do it at 6 o'clock.
6?
Thanks.
Jay, is that good for you?
Yeah, that's good for me.
Yep.
Okay. August 12th, Thursday at 6, pending, no conflicts with the hall.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I'll send,
Still
Je-
short one member?
we are short one member. Pat Stevens declined, so I think Jennifer is going to be advertising for somebody. So,
I thought they weren't going to let him decline. He was elected.
Well, I think you can decline, like, when you go get.
Yeah, I
sworn.
know.
yeah.
Somebody should call Chuck, tell him to get back over here.
He won't, I wish he would. He,
I tried the other day, he said, no, I'm all set.
yeah. He knows that this computer inside and out. He can set it all up, but when he's done it, it has been confused afterwards, so.
All right. No one has anything else? I'll take a motion.
I move we adjourn.
Second that.
All in favor?